All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be doing a market watch style video. We got a lot of cards to go over. There's been a lot of movement in the secondary market. I mean, first of all, like what you see on the screen here with Katakuri, that's the cheapest we've seen this card in a minute, guys. It's been a minute. Excuse me. And we're going to try and check out a lot of other, big movers in the secondary market as well. So that's going to be a big part of it. But actually, guys, let me say this. I'm trying to make my videos where they are just all-encompassing. Like, where every single day I'm going to have a video, and I'm hoping that I can have something of interest in that video for every single person. So don't worry, we're not just doing a market watch video. We're also going to be doing some other stuff. Let me give the quick layout to explain it. First things first, before we even dive into the market watch, we're going to be going over to the products page of the official One Piece card game website. And we're going to be talking about some upcoming products because guys, OP07 is right around the corner for us. We need to mark that down in our calendar, start saving now for cards we need to get, and blah blah blah, right? Excuse me. So we're going to be going from that over to the market watch. After the market watch, we're going to be checking out about 5 games on the sim. This is not like a deck tech style video, so it's just going to be some fun games on the sim. I think it's going to be half purple yellow Pudding and half purple black King. It's just going to be a lot of fun. Then we're going to go from there. We'll check out the deck list before I end that segment, and then we'll finish off with an art critique of a card that has a really cool looking composition. I think it's Mr. 5 Jim is his name, I believe. We'll check that out when we get to it. And everything will be timestamped in the excuse me, everything will be timestamped in the description section of the video, so you'll be able to hop around wherever you want to. Because I get it, a lot of people do not like market watch videos. That's fine. A lot of people don't like the sim games. That's fine too. Just you'll be able to hop around wherever you want to. Okay, with all that said, let's go ahead and hop into this, guys. We got a lot to talk about. I'll try to stay at a decent pace here because we do have quite a bit to go over. First and foremost, like I said, we're going to go over to the products page. Let me show you guys where I'm at. This is on English, or EN for English. English, or I did it again. en.onepiece-cardgame.com. So you'll be able to hop over here, go to the products page at the top right, and this is where it will take you. And guys, check this out. I'm recording this video on June 4th, okay? June 4th. And where are we? Here we go. June 28th. Look at this, guys. And first of all, there's also some kind of double set Volume 4 coming out, but there's no date for this, even though it's also in June. I'm raising my shoulders, guys, raising my hands, even though you can't see them. I have no idea when this one comes out, but it's going to be one of those. It's one of the packs where it has like 1 or 2 special Dawn cards in it, 2 booster packs, and it works as a card case. Very cool. But look at this, guys. OP07 for the West is coming out in June 28th. You guys know what that means, right? That's when it's released. So there's going to be a pre-release date a week before that, right? June 21st, I believe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure June 21st will be the pre-release date. And guys, it's June 4th. So the 24th, or excuse me, the 21st, that's only 17 days away, right? Did I do the math right on that? So 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks away, guys. This is really coming up fast, guys. It's really coming up fast. Make sure you mark this down your calendar. June 28th. Okay. Oh, whoops. We got a few other things to talk about. There are some shop exclusive stuff and premium Bandai stuff going on here. You'll have to go to the website and check this out if you're interested. Here's a cool Ace and Sabo playmat coming out around the same time as the OP07 because those are the 2 secret rares involved. Uda collection, official sleeves, all this stuff. That's all nice. Then we get into this. Check this out. So July will be pretty open. Okay, there's not a whole lot going on in July that I can see on this page. But August, September, October, it is going to be back to back to back, just crazy, right? It's just going to be crazy. In August, check out what's coming. First of all, it is the ST14 starter deck. This is the Luffy deck, the black Luffy deck that has Dawn increase effect, or excuse me, character like cost increases instead of decreases. This effect, or excuse me, this leader and this whole entire deck will be very interesting. Then also check this out, the treasure booster set. I've mentioned this before on the channel, but this is also coming out in August. For the first time, here's a set containing a random selection of previously released booster packs. So guess what that means? You're going to have the chance to open up booster packs from who knows. I don't know how far back they're going, but OP01 to OP06 is where we're at currently. So it could probably be anything in that area. I don't know if they'll go all the way back to OP01 or 2, but that sure would be nice. I will say that would be really nice. Okay, Excuse me. So there's that, the treasure booster set. Now you get into September and things start getting crazy again. Because guess what? That's when OP08 comes out. Do y'all see this? In September of 2024, that's when OP08 comes out for us in the West. Everything is picking up speed, guys. Yes, this is released in the East already, so we can get a good idea of what's coming. But it is coming. This is right around the corner. It's June at the time you're recording this, like I said. June, July, August, September. 3 months away. Crazy. Okay. Or, you know, it's probably closer to 4 months away, but y'all get the idea. Some more official sleeves, premium card collections. Then, finally, all right, here's what I wanted to end this section on. In October, there are 6 new starter decks coming out. And I've got bad news for some people, good news for others, right? Number one, we don't have all the information on this just yet. So bear in mind, we don't have the full cards released or anything like that, full disclosure. But we do know from spoilers that there will be new cards in these decks, guys. There will be new cards in here. So if you're someone like me, if some of those SRs are in here, and those come as a 2-of in these starter decks, not 4. I am going to have to buy about 12 starter decks in October is what it looks like for me, and that is very unfortunate. Even if they are 12 bucks a piece, that's going to be 24 times 5, guys. That's going to be about 150, 160 bucks, probably 175 after tax, and they might be more than the $12 listing price here at your locals. It might be closer to $15 per deck. Guys, this is going to be brutal for the players who need cards from each of these to like keep their collection up to date. I will talk more about these as the set releases, or excuse me, as the full card list releases for each one of these. I have way more to talk about with these guys, but I will hold off for now. I don't want to be all doom and gloom because, first of all, I think some of these will probably be very, very good for new players. That's the good news, right? I think for new players, they are going to have the opportunity. We'll see if they do it. They will have the opportunity to print cards in here that need reprints. We'll see if they do it or not. I'm not saying they will, but that might happen. But other than that, guys, if you're someone like me and you like to collect all of the SRs, a full playset of every card in the game, well, this one's going to hurt right in the pockets. This one's going to hurt. Okay, now on to the part of the video, the market watch part of the video. First up, Charlotte Katakuri down to 53 bucks, guys. This card has gone down quite a bit. Remember, in its peak, it was up to $85, guys. $85 at its peak, probably $90 in some cases. And it's already down to $53. So that's good. I want to see this keep going down further and further and further. Because one thing I've mentioned before, this is just my personal opinion. I'm not saying you need to have it as well. I don't think a card should ever exceed $45, other than alt arts. Okay, I'm not talking about an alternative art style card, a really special promo or something like that. I'm talking about a card that comes in a booster box or a booster pack, you know, randomly. If the rarity is so exclusive on a card that the price ends up being over $50 for the card, I think that is an inherent game design flaw, or a design in the flaw of the game, because it hurts the secondary market to this extent, where it becomes very hard for new players to get involved in the currently running game. So I do hope that they can really stabilize this around $40 and below. And I know some people are like, $40, that's still way too much money. I understand that, but this isn't a perfect world where we just get all the cards for free. You know what I mean? I totally understand. I'm trying to have a good midway point, but for me personally, I will never spend over $50 for a card, okay? At least not currently. We'll see how things change in the future, right? If the cost of living goes down or something like that, I don't know. But the way things are in the world today, I will never spend over $50 for a card. I don't care which card it is. That's just me personally. And again, I don't want to, now, excuse me. If it's an alternate art card, that's very, very different because you're paying for a collector piece. I'm trying to use these cards in a deck, and I'm going to be manhandling them with these huge, bear paws. I don't want to be destroying cards that have this much value attached to them. That's just me. Okay, so Katakuri, though, down to 53 bucks. That is nice, guys. That is really, really solid. That's really something. Next up is the Lin cards. Lin is back down to $4. This deck did not just start winning everything on the first week of OP08. So people are like, okay, I guess it can just go back down in price. I expect 7 Lin to go down a little bit as well soon, because I don't. First of all, I think this will probably get reprinted in the ST. Which one was it? ST20. This will probably get reprinted in ST20. I'm not saying it will. I'm not making any promises, but if I had to bet, I wouldn't be surprised if they just reprint this card. We'll see. They might not. but I don't expect this card to go too much up. Same in value. Same with both of them. Guys, the 10 Lin and the 7 Lin, I don't expect those to move too much in price from where they're at right now. So that's a good thing. $4 for a super rare. If you're complaining about that, guys, I don't know if TCGs are like the way to go. You know what I mean? Because $4 for a super rare is pretty nice. $10 is getting on the higher end of that, but that's still pretty acceptable for a card that has a strong, has a lot of strength to it. Guys, if you're trying to get your hands on Borsalino, this might be the cheapest it will be. But one thing that I'm starting to think about is, like, notice this person bought 16 of them. And I'm not calling out scalping or anything like that. I'm saying if they are selling them for such a cheap price, I wonder if what's going on is they're just trying to get these off the market in preparation for ST19's Black Smoker deck. What if there's a reprint? I don't know. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. But Borsalino is the cheapest it has been in a long, long time, guys. Which is a good thing. That's a good thing, right? Okay, next up is Kuzan. Speaking of dropping in price, check this out, guys. $10 for Kuzan. I mean, that's the cheapest one, but it looks like, actually, it looks like all of these are $10 each. This is a good thing. This is what I wanted to see. $10 for an SR that has high value and it's been good across multiple sets, so it has longevity. Awesome. Outstanding. I'm glad to see this drop in price. $10 I think is a very reasonable amount for a card like this. Okay, next up, the other Kuzan. This one has been going up and down, up and down, up and down. It is up to $22. I don't know how much more expensive this card will be, just being completely honest with you guys. I don't see it going much higher than this, but it is an OP02 secret rare. So I don't know if I'd take my chances either. If you've been waiting to buy this card, now might be your best chance to get it, but at the same time, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know that much about it. It seems like this is a pretty reasonable price for this card, and I think we are starting to see it in one of the black decks. Oh gosh, what's it called? Lucci. In Lucci, or even purple black. Not Lucci. Excuse me. Purple black King. There we go. I got there, guys. I got there. Okay, next up is Queen. Queen has just consistently stayed around $30 to $35. Hopefully, we see a reprint in the starter deck coming out in this ST. What is it? 18. It's a purple monkey D. Luffy starter deck. That sure would be nice if we saw a reprint of this card in there to drive this price down. But again, we don't know if that's going to happen. We can't use that as our gauge, you know, as our guide. We just don't know. It's just speculation currently. Now, hopefully we figure it out in the next, like, 2 to 3 weeks as spoilers come out more and more in the East. It would be nice if we could figure out if some of these staples are going to be reprinted in there. Cards like Queen, cards like Kuzan, cards like Borsalino. That would be really nice if those got reprinted. Reiju has dropped down in price. This is a good thing to see. Now this card is under $10. And guys, this is a purple staple. This card is outstanding. It is very, very good. Very good card. Solid. Good to see the price going down. Speaking of Reiju, Red Purple Law, right? Gordon has gone down a little bit. Okay, not much. It's still way too expensive for what it is, in my opinion. This is a classic case. I don't think this is scalping, guys. I know a lot of people are like, oh, scalpers. It's like, no, this is just a card that is extremely rare. I mean, what do we have here? How many are on the market? Does it say? Well, no, there's quite a few on the market now. They're up to 6 pages of it now. So maybe this is people, you know, who did scalp earlier and they're trying to get their money's worth now, right? Now, this 40 of them, those are Japanese, not English versions. Don't mind that. That's why those are $18. But yeah, 31 bucks. This is the cheapest this card's been in a while. And if I were playing Red Purple Law right now, like if I was just now getting into the game and I'm playing Red Purple Law, I would just find a way to not play these. I'm just being honest, guys. Like, I would be buying my queens, these cards right here. I would be buying my queen before I buy Gordon. That's just me. I would literally rather play, what's it called? Not Jet Pistol, Fire Fist. The 2-cost Fire Fist that does minus 4,000. Or even something like a Gamma Knife. Just something that does not cost $40 or $30, excuse me. But that card is going down in price. That's a good thing. Okay, what else? We got Trafalgar Law. This has gone down quite a bit in price. It peaked up to $25 at one point, guys, just back in March, right before April. And now it's down to $10.50. This is still a little expensive, but it is a pretty good card, right? I mean, it's not like this is a bad card. It goes well in Red Purple Law, but it is starting to see a little less play in the East from what I've noticed. Some decks are still running it, but I think some are pushing away from it. We'll have to see what happens in the future. But $10, again, if you just in your mind, this is a promo, but if in your mind you pretend that this white border is the SR border, $10 for a card is not unbelievable, but it is a little more expensive than I think this card should be, for sure. Sabo has gone down a little bit in price since the last market watch I did. Because remember, guys, I do these market watches once a month. I try to do it at the beginning of each month. This one, Sabo peaked up to $25 in May, like at the beginning of May. Now that we're down into June, it has gone down to 18 bucks. Okay, and it looks like a lot of these have large supplies. So I don't know if people tried to like buy them up real fast and get big money off of them. I'm not sure. But they are starting to go down in price, so that's a good thing. I would try to wait on these and see how low they go in price, unless you have to buy them for a tournament very soon. Gecko Moria going down in price. You love to see it. See, now this is a $15 for a card like Gecko Moria. I understand people who are on a budget, that sounds like way too much money for one card. I completely understand. I completely get it. But this is a pretty decent price, like a pretty solid price for a card like this with this kind of value. It is an SR. It's not like a rare or an uncommon. This is a super rare. So it's nice seeing it around this price point. I think that's, it's pretty justifiable unless some kind of ban happens in the future that none of us know about. Okay. What's next? Sorry, guys, the mustache. The usual nose tickle from the mustache here. Next up, we have Kazuki Hiyori. This card has also gone down in price. It spiked up to 25, just like Sabo did. But this one looks like it's making a pretty solid trajectory downward. And I've said it before. I think I'm not going to go over the whole entire thing, but I think there should be a set amount, like cost for each card based on rarity. I guess I will give a quick rundown of it. I think that, like, commons, uncommons, and rares should all be under $5. Right? Like, and that is what they are, by the way. That's basically what they are. And then for like super rares, that's where you get into like the $20 to $25 range. I know I'm kind of ad-libbing here and there because I've said higher prices in the past. I've said lower prices. It's just no matter what, though, whatever it should be under $50 a card. And if the closer it can get down to $10 to $15 a card like this, the better. So I am happy to see this card's gone down. We do have to talk about a few red cards like Marco here. This one is starting to stabilize. It's spiked up to 15, 16 bucks. Excuse me, when we first saw the red blue Marco video. Yeah, the red blue Marco, not video, the spoiler. But now, guys, straight back down. This deck did not go crazy on the first week of OP08, so people are starting to dismiss it. I still think it's going to be pretty good, guys. I don't know if it's going to be S tier, but I think it's going to be pretty solid. And I will have more videos updating this. I think yesterday's video at the time you're recording this was a red blue Marco video. I think it's going to be just fine. Probably sitting around mid A tier. Right, around mid A tier, unless someone figures out something really special. But $9 for this card. This is a super rare. The art's great on this. I'll have to do a art segment on this eventually. Looks really good. Next up is Newgate. This card's up to 16 bucks. And it looks like it's going to stay there, guys. I'm just being honest. Like, okay, it hopped up to 20. Look at this. Then it went down to 15, up to 18, down to 16. I don't imagine it's going to go much lower than $16. Maybe it'll go down to 15 like where Gecko Moria is. But I can't imagine this card. This is a super rare from OP02. So what you see on the market is what you get. Right, guys? That's like all there is for this card. Ace also spiked up in price around the same time when we saw the new Marco leader revealed. And yeah, this card, 11, 12 bucks, pretty understandable, to be honest, guys. I know it's a little pricey, but for a super rare that has this kind of impact on the board, this is one of those cards that has such a massive impact on the board that, you're going to want to run this card. It's like, it's the closest thing Red has to, Gecko Moria. And no, I'm not saying it's as good as Gecko Moria, but it's like the closest thing that Red has to it. And this is a very solid card. And honestly, I think I've seen a lot of decks only run like 2 or 3 of this card, so I don't even think you'd have to buy the full playset of 4 if you're not trying to. But you'll have to check what list you want to run for that first. Eustace Kid is still very expensive because this is a super rare from OP01. Y'all see what I'm saying, guys? The further back we go with these sets, and I should say the further we go forward with new sets, these older sets don't have any more printings. So whatever was printed, there it is. So those prices will fluctuate accordingly. And with Eustace Kid here, this was this was probably the smallest print run in the game because it was the first print run of the big OP01 set, of the first of like the full sets. And yeah, notice this, guys. The lowest, let's go back a year. The lowest it ever was way back, you know, back in 2023. It was way down. Like, look at this, $2, $3. Wish we could have gotten it there, right? But then it slowly but steadily has gone up and up and up and up. And now, guys, we're looking at a card that's probably not ever going back under $35. Unless it gets a reprint or something like that, or if it got banned or something. Otherwise, I don't see this card going down in price. It's just a really good card. Any kind of green deck can run this card, even if you're not running Supernova or Kid Pirates. It's just that good of a card. Okay, next up is Nami. Speaking of green, we've got Nami here, $11 a card. This has dipped way down, guys. I feel like a lot of people are trying to get rid of this card as fast as they can because they probably think that there's going to be something that happens in the new Uda deck coming out for green right here, ST16. I think a lot of people are prepping some of these cards, you know, or they're lowering these cards in preparation for what they see in these starter decks. Excuse me. Okay, so that's it for Nami. It is good to see this much cheaper now, guys, because that is nice. Okay, and last but not least, we'll finish on the EB01 set. Mr. 2 is still very expensive, $42 a card. Again, I'm sorry, guys, I just don't care about the alternate art stuff. If you want to see that, you know, you can always check that out for yourself. But Brook has... I still need one more Brook I got to get my hands on. This card, I could see this card sitting around $10, guys, like in the future. We'll have to see what happens. But look, it's already almost at $10, but it is an SR that you're probably going to see it as a 3 or 4 of in almost every single black deck going forward. And decks that are not running this card and are still running like the Gecko, Moria, and Rebecca engine, I don't understand. I don't get it. Why would you not run this card? From my play testing, it has been an MVP in like almost every single game that I played it in, you know, that runs black, obviously. This card alone, well, I shouldn't say alone. This card in conjunction with Rebecca, Helmeppo, and Gecko Moria, the 8 cost, it has allowed for any of the decks that run black to become at least like B tier. B to like low A tier. And I'm talking like black-green Isho. I'm talking black-red Garp. I'm talking black-yellow, what's her name? My favorite, Lin. Like, you can just run that package in there, and then all of a sudden, no, the deck is not S tier, but it's all of a sudden like a high B to low A tier deck because of those 4 cards. They're just that high value, and then combo that with an Ice Age, which is a very cheap card, and there you have it. You know, you have the makings, like a 20 card makings of like a really, really strong deck, or maybe it's 24 cards, whatever. Okay, so then just to end on, we're going to check out over on LimitlessTCG.com. If you go to onepiece.limitlesstcg.com and then go to slash decks or backslash, whatever that is, decks, you could check out all the different decks in the game and see how much they're going to run you, especially for new players. So check this out, guys. I'm going to go through all of them really, really quickly. I'm just going to click on, actually, excuse me, I'm going to click on like the highest list that we can find. Here's a first place list. Okay, for Sakazuki right now, it's running for about $280, and let me see something. I bet it's actually cheaper, because look, it's running 2 Borsalinos. No, it does have them at the correct price. It has updated the price. That's good. But still, $300 for what was like one of the best decks in the format. And if you go down Borsalinos, it will get even cheaper. Okay, or even if you replace all of these Hinas with Helmeppos, it gets down even cheaper, down under $250. Good stuff there. Next up, so that's Sakazuki. Gecko Moria, I think you guys will be surprised, because remember, last time I checked this list, it was like a $450 list. Not anymore, guys. Look at this. This list is $240. And really, again, it's these 2 Hinas. Like, just replace them with Helmeppos if you're trying to be more budget. Now, they already have 3 Helmeppos in here, so maybe in that case, drop down, you know, or go to 4 Helmeppos, and I don't know. Hina's a very strong card. I know a lot of people are like, no, you don't understand. You can play that out with Rebecca. I get it. Trust me, I do get it. I'm just saying, I'm trying to help people get into the budget range, people who need to. Okay, but this deck is way cheaper than it used to be. Look at Katakuri, guys. This was crazy right here. Here's a 3rd place list right here. $167 for Katakuri. And wait a second, it gets even better. That's with a $60 Katakuri in the list. So if you just remove Katakuri for another Charlotte Linlin, you're looking at a $110 super competitive list, right? This is an S tier, high A tier, low S tier style deck currently, right? So this is just awesome to see that the price is going back down on some of these. Whitebeard, this just won a tournament recently. Let me find that list. Here you go. First place in Peoria on May 25th. That was just, you know, like 8 days ago. And look at this, guys. Under $200 for a list that just won first place at a regional. Okay? I think it was a regional, right? Yes, Peoria. Peoria, Illinois. Okay, so Whitebeard, super cheap right now. Reiju, I always talk about how cheap this deck is. Let's find the highest placing we can. Okay, here's one from April 27th, but it's a 4th place list at an online regional. $111, and that is with 2 queens. If you take the look at this, guys, how crazy is this? If you take both of the queens out, that's minus 70. This becomes like a $50 deck. $50 deck that can get top placings at a regional. And as you guys can see, it's all over the place. It's not just this one. Here's a 5th place one. Let's see how much this one is. Whoops, I didn't click on the list. Sorry. This one's 147 because it's running the 3 queens. And yeah, that's literally it. Because it's running 3 queens, it's $150. If you take the 3 queens out, it's a $50 deck. Just unbelievable. Extremely, extremely cheap, very solid deck. And look at this, guys. I just noticed this. This guy, Luca Correa, someone help me out if I'm speaking there. But they have this list. Now it runs 4 queens. But they consistently have gotten top 32 in looks like 2 back-to-back tournaments. Yeah, it looks like he's running the same list for each one. So again, guys, if I understand queen is like a big investment right now, but if you can, even if you can borrow them from friends, right? Like this deck is so cheap and it's so solid. Okay, so there's Reiju. Red Purple Law is expensive, guys. I'm going to tell you right now. We'll check on here's the 1st place list from Nicholas Powell. This is the most expensive deck in the game currently. Okay, and there you go, $575. This is the most expensive deck we have seen so far in One Piece. Period. Okay, and that's because we know why. It's because of Mr. Gordon. I was thinking of Mr. 2, Boncray Bentham, and Gordon, just like combined their names, and Queen. It's because of 2 promo cards and 1 secret rare that is just like way overpriced right now for whatever reason, because it's so useful, it's so versatile. But look at this, guys. If you take out the 4 Mr. Gordons, and like I said, just put in your Fire Fist there. Okay, take out 4 Mr. Gordons. You just drop $140 off the deck. You're down to $430. Okay? Now, if you also, whereas at Queen, if you can somehow replace this card, now you're down under $300 for the absolute S-tier deck in the format. This is the best deck in the format by most people's standards, even going into OP07, and some people are even saying in OP08. So, again, if you can find a way around the Gordon especially, it is hard to find a way around Mr. 2 Boncray Bentham, but it's not impossible, guys, because check this out. They're running Shashin Penguin, Ein, and let me see something real quick, guys, just to help out any of the newer players. They have Ein. They're not running Beppo. So literally you can take this out. You can remove $170 from the price tag of this and just run Beppo. Is it as good as Mr. 2? No, it's a little bit worse, obviously. But in some situations, as funny as it is, it's almost, it's about the same. I don't want to say better. I don't know. In some situations, it is better because this card into the mirror match is just an easy get rid of it. Just use my leader effect. It's gone without even having to use a Gordon. So, I'm not saying, by the way, no, I'm not saying Beppo's better than Mr. 2. I'm just saying, hey, this guy doesn't even run Beppo, so just run that right here. And then you drop off $170, so you go down to $400 from the deck right there. And then for the Gordons, like I said, just replace these with the 2-cost Fire Fist or Gamma Knife. And now you're moving another $140, so it goes down to, what, $350 right there. Last thing you got to remove is the Queen. Just replace it with something that draws a card, and then you're off to the races. I don't know if there is anything, because it's already running the Reijus. Right, where's Reiju at? Surely I'm just going, okay, it's Vinsmoke Reiju. Yeah, it's running the 4 Vinsmoke Reijus. But yeah, this will be the hardest card to justify getting rid of. But I guess you can go up 2 Miss All Sundays. You'll lose the blocker for sure, but you'll save $50. You know what I mean? So there are ways around this and to make that deck still very, very viable. Yamato is actually more expensive than I'd expected it to be. Let me just click on this 4th place list real quick. It's the most recent one. It's around $207, but it's really just this card right here. This card is the entire cost of the deck. If you remove the $145 from this card, now you're dealing with a $50 deck, right? You can't really beat that, right? And that's it. And you don't have to run this card, by the way. It's not like necessary. It's not like you have to run this card. Like, look at this. This deck doesn't even run it, and it's $123, and it got 7th place. And it's running 4 Hody Jones, 4 Ace, 4 Cracker. It's 3 of the Kazuki Hiyori. That's another expensive card on the list you can replace if you need to stay on the budget side. But yeah, that deck's not bad. Now, Enel is another one of the most expensive decks in the format. I'll just click on this 3rd place list right here. $335, and again, it's all because of 1 card, a $242 investment for 3 of these, or excuse me, for 4 of these. But one thing I will say, if you want to play Enel going into OP07, you do need this card. I'm just telling you, you absolutely need this card, at least in my personal opinion. You can make the deck list however you want to, but this card is very strong. And I would recommend going this. If you're fully committed to playing NL into OP07, find a way to trade for these or to get some kind of discount from your friends or something like that, because it is a very important card for getting your life back to go under with your Leader's Effect and go from there. Okay. So that was NL. Let's keep going, guys. We're almost done. Down to Luffy. Black Yellow Luffy is not as expensive as you might think. I'm going to click on a first place list right here. This one's only $240 for another list that is considered as good as Red Purple Law in OP07. This list is... Now, there are some adjustments coming up in OP07, full disclosure, but it's not much. I think it's like one new card, one new Luffy card, a 5-cost yellow. They call him Rocket Luffy, where he can pop a 4 or less and draw a card if you have 2 or less life. And it's a 5-cost, so it goes perfectly with the leader effect. It is an improvement to the deck. But as is currently, this list is only $240 for what most people would consider like maybe the second best deck in the format next to Red Purple Law. You know, not exactly terrible. Not exactly that bad. All right, so that's Black Yellow Luffy. Let's keep going. Green Uda. We're going to go through every one of these guys. Don't worry. I'm just going to pick the best one. Okay, here's a first place one. Regional Milan. May 11th. Okay, so this was barely a month ago. $250, and just as I thought, right when I saw $250, I said, no, I know what it is. It's running 4 Eustace Captain Kids. So other than Eustace Kid, guys, look at this. And Nami is, we talked about Nami, that's about $10 a card right now. But other than Eustace Captain Kid, you're looking at a deck that costs about $100 right now. And hey, you know what? It is what it is. Just don't buy this card if you can't afford it right now. Just make everything else, make all the rest of this deck, because it is relatively cheap in terms of TCGs. And then just slowly get this card over time. Like when new cards come out, trade for this card. You see what I'm saying? Or trading cards for money and buy the card that way. You know, there are ways to go about it that you know, can help. Or that make it less damaging on your wallet. So next up is Nami. Let's do here's a third place list right here we'll look at. $55 deck. Now, I don't really recommend this as like a starter level deck because you're not playing the game the way it's, I don't want to say intended to be played. This is an alternate art leader, and we do need to respect it, okay? It is a legitimate alternate win condition leader. Sorry, guys, alt art. It's an alternate win condition leader. And it is a win condition, guys. People win with this, and it will tilt you the first few times you lose to Nami. But guess what? I'm sorry, that is part of the game. So this is something to maybe try out if you're trying to build on a budget and you don't really care about how the game's played, you know, you just want to get into the game with a deck that's fun, competitive, and cheap. Hey, this would be a good entry point for you. And it will teach you a lot about the mechanics of the game, I will say that. It's not like it'll be a total waste of time. Okay, Black Green Perona. This list has gone down a little bit in price. Let me click on this 9th place. Actually, let me click on this 25th one from June. I want to get like more current lists. This one's expensive for a few reasons. It's running 4 Borsellino, it's running 4 Gecko Moria, and it's running 4 Sabo. That is the overwhelming majority of the cost of this list. Because what is that? I'm gonna round up 120, 200. So I'm gonna call it 250. So you take off $250, guys, and this becomes a very affordable list. Okay, not too bad. But like I said, if you already have your Geckos in your Sabos and your Borsellinos, this is like a super cheap list to put together. Okay, so that's Black Green Perona, and it is going to be a very solid list going into OP07. Next we have Red Purple Luffy. Now this one has gone up in price, guys. Let me find, yeah, this was just, looks like both of these were recent. Let me click on the first one, then the second one. This one's $132. This one's way cheaper, because check out this next list by Aiden Thomas. This one is way more expensive because it's running 4 Queen and 4 Mr. 2 Bon Cray Bentham. That right there is $310. $310 for these 8 cards, like 4 and 4, right? $310. You take those away and try to replace them with something else, something cheaper, and this price goes down to like $120 or $130, whatever it is. But this list right here, this one is way more affordable. It's running 4 of the new gates. I would say that is kind of a staple. Like, I think you do need this card. I'm just going to be honest, guys. I do think you need this card. And even this card's pretty cheap right now for being a secret rare. The 10 cost Luffy's. So good stuff there. And that is the whole list right there. Look at that. Everything else is very cheap. Radical Beam, because it's an uncommon from OP01 and it is so popular as like a 4 of in every deck that can run red, this card is strangely expensive. It's too expensive in my opinion for its rarity. but it is what it is. But other than that, look at this. This list is just like a few dollars for each card, not even $1 for some of these play sets, like a Basil Hawkins. But the whole bulk of this cost is Edward Newgate and Monkey D. Luffy. And if you're trying to run this list, I do recommend you go with those. Those are very important to the list. Okay, so that was the Red Purple Luffy. I'm not going to do Blue Yellow Queen, Purple Yellow Croc. I will do Zoro. But if you want to check out those other two, the Queen and Croc list, go ahead and hop on hop onto Limitless and check it out. Okay, let me go ahead and just pick the most recent list, because look, there are no updated deck lists before March, or after March. So we're just gonna click on the most recent one here from Jimmy Lee. $71 list, guys. 4 Zoros and 2 Monkey D. Luffy's. That's the most expensive thing in here, and of course, like we were just saying with the Radical Beams. Okay, guys, so really cool stuff. I'm glad to see that the price of these decks are going down outside of Red Purple Law. That is the good news, right? Every other list I feel like is gone down in price, except Red Purple Law. That's the one list, because it is the most popular that's starting to go up and up and up in price. But that is so fixable. I hope Bandai gets on that. Okay, so now let's go on to some fun games on the sim. That's it for the portion of the video where we talk about prices and all that. Now we're going to go into just some fun games on the sim, and then we'll finish off with an art critique at the very end. Okay, so let me go ahead and move my face. Let me maximize the screen first. And now we're going to be checking out a game on the sim of Purple Yellow Pudding versus Green Yellow Yamato. Let me make sure. Yeah, volume is off. The speed is at 2x, and we are good to go. Okay, so I do think that Green Yellow Yamato is actually kind of favored into Pudding if they can get enough aggression on early. Like, see, right there, he should have committed double, like, his whole attack into me. Now, yes, I still would have countered out because I had another 2k in hand, but it doesn't matter. You need to get rid of my hand as fast as you can and start just crashing through my life. Okay, this version of Purple Yellow Pudding I'll show after the video. I'm experimenting with the 3-cost Pero Sparrow, because I don't care if you KO that card. It just draws me to more big moms, right? Because now you're running 8 Linlin, 9 and 10 cost characters. So that's fine. I'm just smashing in here with everything, trying to get cards out. I play out a blocker, but that's not exactly the most dependable blocker. Let's see what happens here. I think he finds a way to tap this. I could be wrong. Or he might just... Is it still playing? Like, I'm waiting for my opponent here. Yeah, he's still going. Just waiting on my opponent here to come up with a game plan. Okay, right here he's going to swing for 7. It's like, dude, you just let me ramp it on there. Like that. I don't know. That's where, like, if I were to make a Green Yellow Yamato deck, I would have to run Izo, because I would just tap that card down and just go over go over the top of my character. But I don't play a lot of Green Yellow Yamato. Or maybe he doesn't have it in his hand. Who knows? Like, maybe he has it in the deck, but not in hand. So there I smash 5 into the Nami. I'm going to smash 5 into face. And let's see what he does here. Okay, counters out with a gnome. And I'm going to drop down the... No, I was going to say, I almost made a play mistake there. I don't care what anyone thinks. If I had played out the 9 cost just to push that ace back into life, I don't think that's the right play. I'm sorry. I'd rather just drop the big, the big 10 Lin here and say, okay, I am threatening lethal next turn. What are you going to do about it? I'm the aggressor now. Because you did not choose to overcommit your Dawn into attacking my face, I'm the aggressor now. Against a double attack leader, now I want you to hit my life so I can actually draw some cards. Right here, I think it's... I probably take this, but I think I should have 2k countered out. Okay, because now I have to take this, right? Well, I guess I don't have to. I did have a 3k in hand. I don't know. We're fine. I'm like, what is he going to do with 3 Dawn? He's going to swing for 9. Again, I could counter out of this. Yeah, I think I should. Yeah, and I do. Very good. And now it's my turn. So it's like, okay, I'm going to see what he has here. So the right answer here is to just swing for 12, and let's see what happens, because this is probably going to go through, and if not, I'm going to have a very easy time getting through the rest. Okay, 13. So that was a lot of cards from hand. So now I'm going to go for 9 and then 11. So the only thing that can save him here is some kind of way to gain life. He doesn't get it. He got to draw 2 trash one with the new Bonnie effect, but it's like, nope, no way you're getting through this 11 here, and he tried. He had 2 Hody Jones too. So like if I don't win there, the game's over. But I had just enough there to get through. I think I should have countered out more aggressively into some of those attacks. Even like the double attack from the leader would have been nice, and potentially the Shura, because then I would have had like 3. I'd had 3 life left. But oh well, that was one of those situations where I was trying something with a new with a new build. Okay, next one we have against got a fly in here. Next up we have Purple Black King. This is a leader that we're still trying to figure out. I have done a video on this recently, the Purple Black King, and Purple Yellow Pudding for that matter. But this is a leader I'm still trying to figure out, and we are going to look at some decks on the sim, or some games on the sim of this leader next. So he plays out Sasaki. I do not agree with playing that out. Like, I understand why he did it. He's doing it trying to say, like, I know you don't run removal. He's right. I don't. I don't run removal. You're right. All right, right here I don't have Katakuri, so I counter out because I can't ramp next turn like I'd want to. Excuse me. Plays out another Sasaki. This was like a really bad game for me where I didn't see, like, one of my Katakuris is that, no, it's not in my life. That's a Lin. I don't see any of my Katakuris, my 6-cost card Katakuri, or my 6-cost Newgate to ramp Dawn this turn. So that felt just absolutely horrible. Okay, but that's okay. We're still fine. I got to ramp through this card whenever he goes to swing, or even if he just KOs it with an effect, I'm fine with that, because then I can play out my 9-cost Lin next turn. I think. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab... There's the Katakuri I needed. It's like, oh, yeah, thanks. There you are. So right here, it's like I might as well get the 2K counter. Yep, absolutely. So now I'm up to 7 Dawn. He's going to swing in for 6. I'm going to 2K counter out, I think, here, because I want to stay a little bit high in life. Yeah, and here we go. And there's my 6-cost Newgate as well. It's like, okay, y'all couldn't have come at a worse time, but okay, whatever. Okay, so he does he got that trigger from his life. He does a top 5 search for a Big Mom Pirates or a Big Mom Pirates or a Animal Kingdom Pirates card, and I think he just quits out here soon because I pushed that card back. Yeah, let me pause. So the problem was this: I was going to push that card back to his life, and now he has one less card he can do cost reduction with. And on top of that, he's at 6 Dawn, so he will be at 8 Dawn next turn. So there's no way for him to actually reduce the cost of my Lin down to something he can KO next turn with what he has on the board or anything in hand, because he needs all 8 Dawn just to play out his Sabo. Okay, and he was in a very bad situation because of that. I mean, he might have left a little bit too early, in my opinion, but I will say this. I just went up a life. Look what it was. It was a Paraspera that I could bring down next turn if he attacked into me, and he would be at no board state with nothing really coming in hand, except that he will be able to search twice. So there is something, but he left a little bit early, I will say. Okay, next up we've got some games for King. Okay, this is a slightly revised list from what we saw in my last video. Let me put on 2x speed. Okay. And this is versus Purple Yellow Pudding. So literally, it's like we reversed the game there, right? Like now I'm playing the pudding, or the King, and they're playing Pudding. If you get that card in your opening hand, I think your win chances go up. He reveals a beige and the 1-cost searcher event. I'm like, okay, that's annoying. That's pretty annoying. But at the same time, not really too concerned with it. I think there will be a strategy soon that you should not actually attack in this situation, because watch this. I'm playing against a good opponent. Okay, first of all, I play out Perona, so now they have to trash a card from hand. Let's see what they choose to trash. An 8-cost Katakuri. Now watch, he's just going to take this happily, because then when you play out the 6-cost Katakuri next turn, they get to ramp 2 Dawn. So believe it or not, now okay, luckily they didn't have that card. They didn't have the new 6-cost Katakuri in hand, because then they could have gone up to, well, I guess they already made it to 10 Dawn next turn anyway, so it didn't even matter. There you go. But whatever the case is, typically speaking, they're going to want to take that life, so then they could double ramp for the next turn. Okay, and maybe that only helps on certain times, like if you go first versus second, or vice versa. So I swing 5 at life here. Gecko Moria, I'm just going to make him trash cards in hand. I'm just trying to get this guy's cards out of his hand. I don't want this guy to have any more cards in hand. Like, none of them. And then I'm going to swing for 6 here. Notice what's in my hand, though, guys. Notice what's in my hand. Whatever he chooses to play this turn, oh, very nice. I can actually just get rid of it, right? If I need to, by the way. My board state's pretty good. Okay, let him have that. Or I could get super aggressive here. I might, if I counter out, I might, because but I wish I had countered out. Well, no, that's fine. I can draw 2, trash 1 with that guy. So right here, this is what I've decided. It's like, okay, I'm going to just go everything to face here. Well, I don't know. I could go for, I don't remember actually. 9 into 7, I like that better, because he only has 3 cards in hand. Okay, 5 at life. See if he takes it. If he takes this, it really reveals that he has like nothing in hand. He had a 2K counter out of that. Oof, feels awful. Okay, play out this guy. I probably should have swung first, but I wanted to see if I could get any play based off that. Okay. Return 2, draw a card. That is one of the best parts of this character. And right here, I'm just looking for stuff to get out of my trash with my Rebecca. I'm like, okay, I don't really have anything great, but I still can get something out. Now I'm starting to wish I'd let my my Perona go, right? It's like, oh man, I could have got that back, got more value from it that way, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but that's okay. And I will say you do want to counter out pretty aggressively with this leader, so that way you can draw cards with the effect. So I swing for 6, play out Rebecca, just going to grab a 2K counter and say your turn. He does not have any way of taking me out this turn. He has literally no possible way to take me out this turn, but I'm easily presenting lethal for next turn. So if he plays out another Lin, which he does, he plays out the 9 Lin instead of the 10 Lin, which I'm much happier to see that here because it will gain me a life. But it gained him a life as well, and now he's going to have, you know, some tempo. 6 and a 5. I got my 2K counter back. He knows I have that. Excuse me. Right here, I think probably what the best play would have been is just to go for... No, going for game is so risky. It's so dangerous here. But if this first one goes through, then it's like, okay, I have a pretty decent chance of actually winning the game. He 2K, 1Ks out of that. No problem. I think I'm trying to leave some open for my Rebecca. So here we go. 7 in. Probably gonna, yeah, he's going to take that. 9 in. Use my Onigashima, get a 2K counter back, and I've got my blocker. I'm feeling very safe here. I'm at 3 life. He only has 3 characters on the board. I have 2, 4, 6, 7K in counter in hand with a blocker on the board. I'm just feeling completely fine here. And if they do overextend at this point, which by the way, okay, what is that supposed to do here? So watch, 10 into 9. I'm sure he's going to go 10 into 9, right? He should have gone 10 into 5. I think he should have gone for my Peronas there because they're all presenting lethal at this point. Yeah, 5 there. That made way more sense. His only play mistake there was going for my Gecko, just going for it, period, because he saw, yeah, and that's game. Because he saw I had a 2K counter in hand. Like, I literally grabbed it with my Rebecca. So he knows I have a 2K counter. There's no reason. Just go 10 into a Perona, 9 into the other Perona, and then 5 into face, maybe. Or just don't even swing it off if you don't want to give me cards. But if I had to that turn, I mean, it was game over. But I had Kaido as, like, back, you know, I had an ace in this, you know, how do you say it? There's an expression. I had an ace up my sleeve, basically, right? Like with that Kaido. If things got out of control on the board, like this turn, and I could not take him out this turn, I could have just gone everything at face. In fact, the safest play right here probably would have been to go 5 at face, 9 at face, and then whatever happens there, and I could do the math from there, and I would have been able to win from that. But say I couldn't win, okay, now drop Kaido, clear the board, your turn, right? I mean, it's just that simple. Okay, next game. All right, versus Nami. So if you're wondering how this does against the mill deck, right? If you're wondering how this does against the alternate win condition, the answer is it doesn't do incredible, but it can definitely win. Let me make sure I have this on 2x speed, guys. Speed 2x. Oh, that was a close one. Okay. So right away, they do a draw 2, trash 2 with Kaya, and they're able to get rid of some cards they don't really need that much. And I'm on 2 Dawn. This was the worst case scenario for me, right? If I could have gone first and gone straight to Onigashima, this would have been way better. But instead, it was a turn 2 Onigashima into another Onigashima. You know, so I'm gonna have to draw 2 trash 1 with Queen to get rid of that other one to try and start get some answers on this board. That new card right there, Marguerite, however you say that. That card is really nice, guys. It's just a 3 cost 3K, or is it 2K? Excuse me. It is a 3 cost 2,000 power blocker on play, draw a card. What more could you ask for in Nami? Because it's making me do other things. It's not the biggest hindrance in the world, but it is a nuisance. It's very annoying. Okay, so right here I play out Perona to make them trash a card. I'm trying to get them to lose value. Now right here I've got my whatever that card is called in hand, and now that's another opportunity for me to trash cards that aren't as relevant. Draw 2, trash 1, perfect. So now I have 3 Otogashimas in my trash, right? Or 2. I have 1 on the board and 2 in the trash. So I'm like, all right, cool, finally, let's get those cards out of the way. This is another card. I believe this can search up the card we were just talking about, Marguerite. But the biggest problem with this version of the Nami deck is there are not a lot to search up. He whiffed on the first search, but then he got it on the second one there. Okay, so I'm going to use my Jack here, draw a card, trash a card, and I pop a 3 or less. I get rid of that blocker. Play out Brook, pop one of the Kayas. Now right here, I can draw -2 Dawn to draw a card here. Very good. I'm not ready to attack yet. Have you guys noticed that? I have not attacked at all yet. I'm not ready to attack yet. Okay, he's going to swing for 6. I'm just going to counter out of that. It's fine. Now right here, I do want to establish my what's his name? My Kaido. Okay, now right here, I'm just going to swing all 5s. All right. Right here, swing 8. Because he did a what's it called, the Navy event. Oh gosh, I can't remember what it's called. Whatever it was called. Let me go back. I gotta see now. I'm sorry, guys. That card. White Snake. He did White Snake. Okay, and then I go ahead and play out the Kaido. Let me get to that part of the video real quick, where I play out Kaido. I just drop it right on top of my Brook, because I don't need that card. I should have swung with Brook first to pop the Kaya. That was just a bad play, but as you can see here, it actually just didn't matter. But that was technically the correct play. I should have swung with the Brook, pop the Kaya. There's no reason not to, and then replace it like this. Because I didn't need to swing for 5 or 6. Just swing for nothing. Just swing for 4, and it would still get the job done. Popping a 1 cost or less. But he's got all of his Kai's on the board, and it's like, all right, here we go. You know, I could. How many cards do you have in life or in his deck? He has 19 cards left. I could have done one more turn here of development, technically. Like, I could have actually... Sorry, why does this thing keep popping up, guys? It is so frustrating. There we go. I could have done one more turn of development here, like by putting down another Kaido. But I don't really want to do that. And by the way, if you didn't notice, I'm not using Kaido to pop the board. I'm just using it to do its, you know... I'm just trying to get a 12k body on the board. Okay, so right there, he bounced a queen back to my hands, what he did. Okay, not a big deal, though. I can just replay that. So I'm like, all right, perfect. So let's go ahead and swing for 6 here. Or, I mean, excuse me, swing for 8. And by the way, I could be even popping the Kayas with this character. Like, I have a lot of options here, but, oh well, it is what it is. So now I'm going to swing for 5 here, I think, or swing 12, and then swing 5. I should have swung 5 first, then 12, but, oh well. Okay, does a Desert Spada, gets to do a top 3 arrangement, and then I play out this guy, return a Dawn back, and then throw that back, gain the Dawn back I used with my my queen, but I don't have 5 or less cards, so I can't use the leader effect. I probably could have if I did it in the other order. I'm not sure. Okay, so we're down to it. It's like, hey man, you're gonna have to get through about 9 cards. He's at 11 cards right now. So, and then he plays out the other Kaya. You have to get through 9 cards with only 5 Dawn. That's the issue this Nami's faced with. Now, if they hit nothing but draw 2 Trash 1 or draw 2 triggers, yeah, they can easily win this game. But that's how it comes. That's what it comes down to in this kind of situation. I'm not really running a deck that is very like this is not a very fast deck, right? This is not a blitzy speed deck. So I'm going to swing 7s because it's just enough to get around his Desert Spadas or his Gum or Rubber Band of Doom, Usopp's Rubber Band of Doom. So it's going to force like a 2-card response or a very inefficient 9 plus 4,000 or plus 6,000. It's a very annoying position to be in. Desert Spada doesn't matter anymore because I either win this turn or I lose this turn. That's it. So I'm not really worried about it. Now he does do a White Snake, very solid there. Yeah, White Snake. And now it's like, okay, let's see what he's got. You know, we're all in. I'm all in this turn. I need my next 4 attacks to hit. Or excuse me, I need 4 attacks to hit. So one of these cannot hit. Okay, I'll still be fine. So swing 8 into 6. I'm staying 2,000 above the threshold of an Usopp's Rubber Band of Doom, or even just a 2k counter. Okay, he gets a... That doesn't matter. That's a top 5 search with White Snake. I don't care about that trigger at all right now. You know, there's no... Because he only has 2 Dawn left. How is he going to get through this? He has to use like a Love Beam here. Or Love Melody, whatever it's called. There it is. So he gets to draw that card. But now, as long as all of my attacks are 2 over, I should be fine. 8, 12. He did a draw. That was a draw 2 trash 1. But it's too late. You're not getting through a 12. There's absolutely no way. And that's... I try to tell you guys, I actually see a lot of Namis on the ladder. And as long as you are playing around their events properly, you should be pretty decent into them. Okay, we got one more game, and then we will finish off by looking at the deck lists and going from there over to the art critique. All right, Red Purple Law. Here we go. Let me make sure it's on 2x speed real quick. Speed 2x. We are good to go. Red Purple Law is a serious matchup, guys, but Purple Black King can deal with it. I'm not saying it's an easy matchup, but if you get to go first, so you get to attack first, put on some pressure, and play out your own Nagashima on curve, you have a very solid chance of winning this game. Not saying you will, but your chances do go up from there. I'm loving the Perona in this deck. I need... One thing I've noticed about, as the game is going on, at least going into OP07 and soon OP08 now, the more hand destruction you have, probably the better. This guy gets a very early Black Maria, and I'm not a fan of that. So right here I have to use my 2k counter because that card has got to go. I'm going to have to pop it with my Who's Who. There's no other option there. So he ramps out with Gecko, with Black Maria, to be able to use his leader effect for free this turn while still swinging for 6, and gets out a Reiju. But the problem with Reiju there is you have more Dawn than me, so you can't draw cards. And I think he realized that too little, too late. Hey, it was still some type of advantage, but that was definitely a misplay. No way around it. I've got 2 Who's now. And yes, I pretty much have to drop those to get rid of this Black Maria. I can't let that card stay alive. It's just not possible. It generates too much value. The card must go. The card must go. And I'm establishing a 5k body in the process. It's really not the worst thing in the world. Okay, so my opponent's turn now. Playing out that Reiju the way he did. And by the way, that's one thing. I don't actually like Black Maria in Red Purple Law that much because of what we literally just saw. Because like you're going up and Dawn, it already has enough Dawn tricks that are like good as is. I don't know if Black Maria is the way to go for it. We'll have to see. But I think a lot of lists over in the East are running as 2 of. Okay, so I get a Jack there from life. He's going to play out Shashi and Penguin. He's going to get to go for 6 more. I have to use my Who's Who here just to counter out because I'm just getting a little too low for comfort against a Red Purple Law deck. That was a worst case scenario card to draw unless I start comboing it with my Jack, which I do plan on doing. I swing 5 into 5 here. Let's see what he does. He should just give me the blocker. It is scary to give me the blocker though because he doesn't know what I'm going to do. If he does not block here and just lets this go, that's not the worst thing in the world. But if he blocks here with his Eustace Kid, I could just smash into his Eustace Kid with my leader because I have 9 Dawn available, right? It's like, okay. So what I expected for him to do was to block out, and then I was going to swing 6 into it. But right here, I've got a Gecko Moria turn coming up that I'm going to try and, generate some value off of. Okay, use that. I'm going to draw a card here with my leader effect before I use my Gecko Moria, and there you go. Another option could have been to minus the cost of, well, I guess either one of them. Hang on. I could have played out Jack, reduce the cost of the Eustace Kid, and pop that, draw a card, trash card, get rid of that Onigashima. But that's okay. I'm trying to keep the board, I'm trying to keep very high tempo on the board, give him something to swing into, and he does not fall for it, which this is the right play what he's doing right here, because like I'm trying to buy time. He's like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. He played this very well, and look at that, coming in with Kid and Killer. I don't have a way out. I don't have a way out of that. He's going to do a -3 here, removes my Helmeppo, who cares, but plays out a Sanji. And now he's going to go 7 into life. I am not feeling great about this. So at this point, I have to just lock down. I have to clear out as many of these cards off the board as I can. And then I have to sit behind a blocker. And then I have to hope my opponent doesn't have a rush card coming. Because if he has one rush card in the mix here, I just lose. Okay, so I'm going to swing. I have to get this card off the board. I'm going to go 9 into 6. Let's see what he gives me. And by the way, guys, he'll have 6 Dawn next turn, so I can't just clear the board with my Kaido. I won't survive. Okay, so right here, I'm really thinking about doing the doing Jack here, but I'm concerned about a blocker. It's like, no, I need to go ahead and just drop the blocker now. I need to drop that now, see what I get. Okay, I've got 2 2Ks, a 1K, and a 1K. I've got 6,000 power in counter right now, and I have 7 cards in hand. My opponent's not going to feel good about that, right? Like, that doesn't feel good for my opponent. And I can also play out a, right here, I can just go 5 into his board. I can also play out a Sabo, is what I was about to say. Sorry, guys. Okay, and that should be my play. I don't remember this game completely, but my play right here, undoubtedly, there's 0 doubts in my mind, my play right here should be to play out the Sabo after going 5s into his entire board. Okay, this was a very technical turn. I had to make sure I did this right. Okay, and I'm still considering other ways for me to try to take out this card, but it's like, no, there's no reason to play crazy. Just play Sabo. Fixed my hand completely. Now I've got 2, 4, 6. I have 7,000 in counter. He only has 6 Dawn this turn with 2 attacks. I have 2 blockers. I should be fine here. It's not like it's just game over yet, but I should be fine here. All right, let's see what he does. Right here, I'm basically saying, hey, you've got Kid and Killer or you don't. So I go ahead and use a blocker here and get out of it with a 2K counter, and let's see what he has. The only thing that could really save him at this point is like maybe a Kid and Killer, but probably not. Just going to block that and let it go. When he did that, I was pretty sure he did not have Kid and Killer. But he did. So, like, that was just not the right play, in my opinion. Because he could have, like, how do I say this? He could have instead just put all of that onto, like, he should have only swung for 7, I guess, with the leaders, what I'm saying, and then did all the rest to swing in with Kid and Killer. But now I just get to eat his entire board. I get to sit behind a blocker. I'm going to play out Rebecca. I'm going to get back Sabo. I'm going to have 3 blockers, right? At this point, the game is over. Okay, play this out. We'll trash that and that. Now I get to draw 2 cards every turn now because of my leader effect. Okay, then do this. I guess I should have technically done that first. But I've got 3 blockers, like I said. I've got 1K in hand. That's not much. I am going to be forced to give a blocker this turn. But whatever the blocker is, I can just bring back with Gecko Moria. But I won't even need to. My opponent is on 5 Dawn this turn. There's pretty much no way out of this for him. He's probably just considering his options here on, like, if he should go for the board or not. Okay, that's a good start. He can -3 to one of my 6K blockers. Bottom deck it, get it out of the way. But in that case, he probably should have swung 7 first into my board to get some... Okay, he was able to play something out before using the leader effect. Very, very good. Get rid of my Sabo. Swing 5. He can't even swing for 5. Let me pause. So he can't swing for 5 because I just block with my guy, right? With my queen. Good game though. That was just a situation where it's like, if you have enough blockers, you should be all right. Enough blockers and enough 2Ks. So speaking of which, we will check that out now. All right, going over to the deck lists. This is what I was running for today's. Let me move my face before I forget. Okay, this is the list I was running for today's purple yellow pudding video. I mentioned this before. I'll actually list the video down below in the comment section. I'll link it so you guys can check it out if you're interested. How are we doing on time? Oh gosh, this is gonna be a long video. So I will list it down in the comment section below. It's all about using your leader effect and then your Katakuri to get to 10 Dawn on turn 4 every single time. The second best bet is your Edward Newgate. You really want these in your opening hand, and then you should be... I would probably... This might sound crazy. I would probably aggressively mulligan to this card or this card, and then just hope to get your your 9 or 10 cost cards along the way. Okay, pause. I'll put this down in the comment section below as well, the deck list. And then for the purple-black king list, I had it backwards last time, guys, whereas I think I just called it king. Yeah, king 9J. I showed you all in my video. I ended up posting the correct one in the comment section, but this is the actual deck list I was running for today's video, even though I said it was in the previous one. So sorry for the confusion, but that's what's going on here. This is the exact list I was using in today's video, and it was working pretty well, guys. It was running pretty well. Big fan of how this ran. I think I'm getting close to something here. Like, I don't know, the Regius might be a little far-fetched. I could probably replace this, but everything else felt pretty good, guys. And notice I'm not running any of the searchers. I just don't need them. Like, if I were to run any, no, I would not run a searcher unless it could find Kaido. So maybe there's a situation where I run no, see, and then Queen. Maybe I'll run the event searcher. We'll have to see. But then I lose a counter. Anyway, we'll figure that out later. This is the list I was running. Pretty good stuff. Okay, I will put this down in the comment section below as well. Let's go ahead and check out the art selection for today. So we got Mr. 5 Jim, or is it Mr. 3? It's Mr. 5. Here it is right down here. Mr. 5 Jim. Guys, this composition is really cool. And from what I understand, I did have to look up what was going on here. I looked it up on the fandom, and apparently he's able to flick body parts or something at the opponent. I don't want to go too much into that. This looks pretty... That is a very weird thing. You know, Oda's got some crazy, kooky ideas, but this is one of them, but it's still very cool. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it is very cool. One thing I want to mention first about this composition. Okay, first of all, the hand is just breaking that plane, right? This is really well done with the way the hand is here. Like, this is coming out at us, at the viewer, and look what he's doing. Okay, this part right here is like where the impact was, but look what he is blasting off. It's right here. There's a ball here that's being shot out at us, right? That circle... These circles here go perfectly with this circle in the background. Do y'all see that? It's not actually the background. It's actually like the middle ground. So check this out. Speaking of which, the background is basically Jim or Mr. 5, whatever you want to call him. And that's a decent little silhouette going on here with this cloak down here, whatever that is. The hand is breaking into the middle ground along with this puff of smoke that's in like a perfect circle around him. Okay, y'all see that? It's like this perfect puff of smoke that's just circling out around him. But then in the foreground, look what we have. This is really cool as well. We have this projectile being launched straight at the viewer. it's dynamic. There's a lot going on as well, by the way, guys. Y'all see all this stuff going on down here? Okay, there's like little jagged parts all over the place, just showing like, again, movement, motion. It's dynamic. It looks really amazing in that regard. And the colors, this is just like pure color barf everywhere, right? Y'all see what I'm saying? Look at all these colors, guys. It's all over the place. You've got some yellows up here. You've got some teals and blues down here. Some type of browns and dark reds down in this area. Reds, dark browns and reds here with yellow underlining it. Some very nice reds, magentas, pinks, probably a little bit of burgundy in there as well, especially like with this brown on the what would you call that? His trench coat. Looks like he's wearing some type of trench coat. Really cool stuff here. And the glasses, like, look at this face. Look how well they captured this face. Really nice what they did with the temples right here. Like there's like a clear definition where his temples are. That looks really nice. And then the eyebrow ridge, prominent. Check out the glasses, guys. Came out really good. And then that smirk, that, you know, the one side, you know, of the teeth up. It's got this effect going on. Outstanding. This one's really nice. Very realistic looking as well with the way this face came out and the way these hands came out. Very different from the Kumadori and Opera that we saw last time. Remember, last time we were looking at the hand, instead of it being more of like a realistic hand, it was almost like pushed up. It's hard to explain. Like it was very pushed up and exaggerated so that you could see this part of the finger, but from the front. Now from the side, it's very different. Whoops, where's my hand at? You can see it from the side. Like, let me see, he just did like this. Let me go all the way back. This guy's doing like this motion with the hand, right? Like, because he just flicked whatever it was, right? And you can actually see the bottoms of his fingers. Whereas the guy we saw in the last video didn't quite have that. And this guy's name is Ryuda, R-Y-U-D-A, it looks like. Really, really nice piece here. I love the colors everywhere. Like I said, I think it looks incredible. And the composition is nice. This is the composition, guys. You see it? There's a circle here. And check this out. Got the X going through the middle from the spark. Awesome, right? This, you know, this is like a crosshair. Do y'all see it? And he's like this sniper. Outstanding. So incredible. So much subtle details going on that a lot of people probably aren't trained to pick up on, right? But there's so much going on in this piece. And then the hair is actually, it's its own entity. His hair is like its own entity, guys. Look at this. Like, it's almost like a Super Saiyan type of thing, like where the hair is just blasted back from this explosion, right? Really, really incredible. Loving this piece. I don't even run much purple, and I don't know how good this character is, to be honest, Mr. Jim. I think it's like a 7 cost 5k or 7 cost 8k that has, I think, on opponent's attack once per turn, return to dawn, and pop a 4 or less. Is that what that is? You can pop a 4 or less character. Just incredible, you know, as far as the art goes. But the character itself, I have no idea. But yeah, very cool stuff here. There's also a little bit going out. Man, look at it. Like, look at all these hidden shapes, guys. All these hidden shapes everywhere. It's just all over the place. Looks incredible, and at the same time, hopefully you guys can see it. I can probably do each one with its own color. So right here you've got the triangle. What am I doing, guys? What am I doing? I got this. There's this cool little program I use right here. Okay, I can change everything the way I want it. Okay, we'll do like a bright green. Like, here's a nice little triangle here. He's zoned in, right? And then on top of that, we've got. Let me get the. Okay, let me click off this. We've got this going on, you know, just blasting through the piece. Let me put it in a yellow. Oops, there we go. I guess we can just stamp it, flip it. There we go. And we've got this going on the other side. It's at a slightly different angle. It's not exact angles. We got that, and then of course this circle. Like, look at this circle, guys. Just so incredible right in the middle here. Everything's inside this. We'll put this in as like a maybe a blue. Awesome. Great composition. Whoever did this person, Ryuda, absolutely incredible artist. Then you got this one circle right here in the front too. Very cool. Okay, it looks like we're doing some kind of magic symbols going on here or something. We're not, I promise, guys. I have no idea. But this whole thing was done so well, guys. It looks so good. Okay, that's it. If you got any comments or questions, guys, please put them down in the comment section below. This video went way longer than I thought it would. Way longer than I thought it would. But yeah, started off as just a simple market watch video, right? That goes an hour and 10 minutes long. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much for watching up to this point. Thank you guys for watching, period. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, all that stuff, guys. Just viewing it helps me out enough. Big shout out to my patrons. I really appreciate you guys. Y'all help out so much in so many more ways than you know, just everyone else does. Again, I feel blessed to be here, guys, doing what I'm doing. It's just a lot of fun, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all. All right, I'm done, guys. Please do not forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. Hope y'all enjoyed, and until next time, guys, peace.